Welcome back. The Speak Mandarin campaign turns 40 this year, and over the past decades, the campaign has gradually evolved from encouraging more Mandarin and less dialect to inculcating an appreciation for the Chinese culture and language.
Now this year, a database comprising Mandarin terms unique to Singapore will also be launched. And here to tell us more tonight is Lee Ching from the Communications Subcommittee of the Promote Mandarin Council. Lee Ching, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us then how, over the 40 years, Speak Mandarin campaign, how it's changed over that time.
Well, in the early days, I think it is all about providing a language for people of different dialect groups to be able to communicate easier with each other. And along the way, I think the focus has sort of shifted a little so that there is greater appreciation of our own culture. And I think today is about encouraging more English-speaking Singaporeans to make an attempt or to take that step to speak Mandarin. And really, it's not that difficult if all that it takes is being intentional about it and look for those opportunities to communicate with one another. So it can be done.
I believe it can be done, and also that this year there'll be a database as well to share more about Singapore Mandarin. Tell us more about that.
Yes, this database really embeds a lot of our cultural heritage. So there are certain phrases, turn of phrase that we use here, referring to the same thing, but not pronounced in the same way in other countries. Like, for example, when we say, 的士 is taxi. To us here, that's the way it is. But in China and anywhere else, it's 计程车. So basically, you can see that there's a difference, but we are referring to the same thing. But then, that's our culture. That's how we are used to calling these things. And also, you'll notice that, in these terms, we have embedded a little bit of the Malay language. And sometimes we have also embedded Chinese, Hokkien, the dialects. But that's how it has evolved. So when we are very proud of this because that really is our heritage. And we should preserve that because that is our way of using Mandarin, and that's the way we communicate with each other.
I suppose it being sort of localized here in Singapore is what makes it unique for us here in Singapore. What else is the campaign introducing this year?
Well, this year we are profiling 8 young bilingual Singaporeans. This is a collaboration between the Promote Mandarin Council and Business China. And their profile, their stories will go onto the Facebook and the YouTube of the two organizations. The whole idea is really to let the people everywhere know that, hey, look, Mandarin is a useful language. And especially now, with the economic development in China, knowing Mandarin, being able to command it well, certainly has a lot of advantage.
But then one of the disadvantages is that, there seems to be challenges when coming to learning Mandarin. What are some of the difficulties, you notice about Singaporeans trying to, learn or master the language?
Well, most of us would have gone to schools which we have bilingual education. And the tendency is that when you're at home, you tend to slip into the language of default, which is English. So you find yourself, speaking English to your kids, in the English language with your kids. But I think if you make that effort to try to speak with them in the Mandarin language, I think it will help them to also appreciate the Chinese language, the Chinese culture, our own heritage a lot better. And especially given the opportunities that we have today, I think it is good that, we imbue the younger generation with this love for the language. But the important thing is to have fun. When you learn anything that is a chore, you learn nothing. And you'll be only too happy to give it up. But when you make it fun, which is what the Chinese database is supposed to do, you make it fun, then you discover, oh, hi, so that's how it is, this is what it means. And it becomes a talking point when you're talking to people from other Chinese-speaking community. Why do you say that? Why is it referred in this way, and why is it referred in that way? And you find that there are lots of stories behind. So when you make it fun, then this form of communication will stay and the language will remain.
Right. So, always make, language fun, and you will remember a lot of things. I remember making it fun for me and my brother when we were learning Mandarin, and it stayed, it stuck. But thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us. We've been speaking with Lee Ching from the Promote Mandarin Council.
And finally, I think you are exactly our target audience. So we hope that one day when people ask you, 讲华语, I hope you all will say, 我也可以.
我当然可以. I can. But, Steve, you're going to have to learn.
Yeah, I've got a long way to go.
I'll teach you. Last night I taught Dawn a couple of words. I'll teach you later.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.